I just fixed one of the most enticing but inefficient trading strategies in the forex markets and turned it into a money making machine. Have you ever tried trading a strategy that you've seen a millionaire trader trade, or even your favorite YouTuber use over and over again to make a whole lot of money, only for when you try it to get faked out, or even worse, start out in profit only to take a massive loss? I mean, it absolutely sucks seeing that red color on MetaTrader, right? But if you listen and pay close attention over the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how to never, ever get faked out again. You better take notes.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?
So the way that this strategy works is it works based off of three components. One is obviously using the Elite Algo premium software and oscillator. If you don't have access to that, there's a link in the bio, and I'll have a discount code through that link. If you click on it, you'll be able to see that discount code and be able to get Elite Algo at a big discount. But if you do have Elite Algo, all you want to do is just really just put the Elite Algo Premium and Oscillator up. I'm going to show you how to set it up exactly the way that I have it, because there's some prerequisites to what you have to do before you're able to start trading this strategy. So going right into it, all you want to be able to do, and just to start off, you can use the dashboard. The dashboard is going to be completely optional. If you're brand new to trading, you probably just want to use, let me see how small the tiny is. I usually use it at the small size. So tiny works. So you can use that to help you identify how strong a trend is, so you can have confluences. But the main setup is going to be doing the show signals normal strategy, and then the sensitivity at 1.2. You want to color the candles, and you don't really need to take profit labels for this one, but you want to show the trend cloud, and you want to have it set up to where you can do the fast trend cloud, but honestly, the way I do it, I like to have a clean chart and set it up just like this. So we're not doing too much with the premium indicator on that side of things. It's just going to act as confluence versus the actual entry. The main thing is the Elite Oscillator. So with the Elite Oscillator, you want to set it to breakout filter. And I have my own settings with the breakout filter. I do an EMA of 3, 7, and 11. And you could do 70%. That's the default. You can leave it at that. So that's what I use for my setup. So the other thing is you want to have an idea of what your price levels are. Price levels are points in the market that price reacts to commonly reacts to. So like, for example, you can see in this area here, you had a lot of price reactions. And price reactions can be rejections, like you see with this doji right here. You can see rejections, or a price level can also be justified by how strong the candle that breaks it is. You want to see a good breakout candle get on the other side of these levels, because if you have strong candles that break the level, that means it took a lot to get past that level, which means that that level was strong. So rejection and momentum candles to break the zone, those are what you want to look for in your areas, and also multiple touches. So if you have a combination of those three things, that's the type of price levels you want to identify. You want to identify some relevant price levels on the chart that you're looking at. If you don't know how to judge your price levels, or even how to mark up your chart like this to where it's accurate, where it's clean, and you can see where price is bouncing off of, I'll link a video to where I go in depth and give you a whole course on price action trading, and specifically how to find price levels. But that's the only manual part that you'll have to do, is find these price levels. And you have support resistance with Elite Algo, but if you have the eye to see, you want to be able to have precise entries. So being able to have an eye to see the price levels is going to be able to help you identify the accurate price levels that actually mean something in the markets. Because you can see the price levels that I have marked up here, you can see that there's a lot of instances where those price levels were respected. So let me take off the label so you can see it better. So you see how you have rejections, you have strong breakouts, rejections, retouches, all of those different things that are lining up with those levels. And those are great signs. So that's how you set up the chart. Now for the strategy itself. You want to trade with the trend. The two ways you're going to trade with the trend, it's going to be rule number one, trade with the trend, is you're going to look at the trend cloud, which is this red, or it could be green if on an uptrend area of charts. If it's red, obviously it's a downtrend. If it's green, uptrend. And also the dashboard, if you're using the dashboard, you can use current trend and current trend strength. I like to trade a breakout strategy that has a trend strength of over 40%. That way, I know that there is a confirmed trend in the market. And I like Elite Algo because it has so many different indications that are put together to quantify those numbers as far as trend strength percentage. So, trading with the trend. When you get better at it, maybe you can trade against the trend with this breakout strategy. But while you're learning it, definitely trade with the trend. The second thing is you want to identify your price levels, which is what I just went over as far as how to find price levels, but you want to identify them. And more importantly, if you're trading in a downtrend, you want to identify where your support levels are, where your next support level is. And if you're trading an uptrend, you want to identify where your resistance level is. So with that being said, what you want to look to do for your third part of your setup is you want to wait for your breakout to happen. So for example, we have this breakout here where you see that this red candle, and I can highlight it or mark over it, this red candle here that I circled, the bigger one, is your breakout candle. Now, how do you qualify if that's a breakout candle? One is the candle has to be the color of the direction that it's going. If you have your candlestick colors on with your Elite Algo Premium, you're going to be able to see that momentum is to the downside. But also, you want the actual breakout filter to confirm that strong volume, that strong momentum with that breakout. And you see on that specific candle that it was red. It showed it actually changed into red, which is even better. You want it to either change into red when it closes or be already red on that breakout. So it changes into red. So that would have been my entry. So I would have entered at the close because it's in a downtrend. It breaks out of my zone. It closes below my zone. And at the close, that would be my entry. Now I can set up my stop loss to be at above the high of the breakout candle or the recent high as my stop loss. And for my take profit, let me actually have the wrong side. Let's switch it to short position. There we go. So stop loss, top of the high of the candle, the breakout candle, or recent high, whichever one you want to do. And you want to go for your 1 to 5 reward to risk for your TP1, and then ultimately look for your 2 to 1. So that trade would have been a great trade in that instance. Then you have this area here, and this one here, you probably slide that up. And you see that this candle here, right here, very next breakout would have been on this big candle here. That candle. You see that it's still red. Not only is red, it's at the top of the range for the breakout filter. So that would have been another entry for me. I would have opened my trade at the close. I would have put my stop loss above the high, and I would have got close to a 1.5 rewards risk. I think I would have got it on this wick right here. Yep. right on the wick, I would have got that 1-5, so I would have hit my TP1. As you're gaining profit, especially when you break even, so if you get to that 1-to-1 level, this is just a side rule. If you get to 1-to-1, definitely either shorten your stop loss or bring it into profit, so that way you can minimize your risk on your trading. But those would have been 2 winning trades back to back. I can go further back and go to the last areas here. So looking at, let's go with this breakout here, because you have that would have been from here. This would have been a harder area to see. You would have had to go further back to see it, and maybe slide it down a little bit to make it more relevant for that time period. There you go. That probably would have been noise, but if you look back here, you would have seen your average area to pay attention to. But this would have been your breakout. This would have been your breakout candle here. So let's go, let me identify it. So this candle here. Let's look at, let's do support. So that red candle, we can zoom in to see that. So that would have been my breakout candle. Notice that it did change from gray to red on that candle, and also the candle coloring changed from green to red. Very good signals for an entry. So that would have been my entry. I would have entered at the close. Stop loss would have been above the high. And I would look for my 1-to-5 reward to risk while I'm taking profit or securing profit after 1-to-1. I would have got my 1-to-5 right there. And maybe for take profit 2, I would have hit the 2-to-1. So that would have been another great strategy trade there. Another one, we can go blind chart, so that way you can use just about any chart. I'm gonna pick one at random. We're gonna do Euro New Zealand dollar, random chart. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually zoom out and identify some price levels. So we have here, at this price level here, that price level, identifying this one here, see if it goes forward. Let me zoom out a little bit so I can see better. So this one's a key one here. Have this one there, this one here, and if these price levels stand the test of time, that also lets you know that you got good price levels. Alrighty, so that one was there as well. Well, actually, that's too small of a price level for me to consider. You have this level here. And then you have this level right here, that level there. So I want to show you a couple things. Like this is just live me looking at the markets. So let's start backwards first. So going into this consolidation zone, still being in a downtrend. You're looking for the markets to break out of that consolidation zone. It does that. See how that strong candle breaks out. Not only does that strong candle break out of the zone, it's color red, and it also is confirmed by the breakout filter. So now you have another trade. Now this one may have been a loss because it did wick a little bit. So that one may have been a loss, which is fine. You're going to have losses in any strategy. This is counter trend. You're not going to trade the counter trend. So that's a counter trend breakout, no trading there. And then here, you see how when it kind of gives you a breakout here, but you see how it's still gray. So it lets you know that, hey, that's not the breakout to pay attention to. That's why I like that. But as you get into here, maybe there's candlestick formations do play a part. So, if you get it like a doji when it changes, maybe pay attention, maybe not trade that. But you see here, you get a stronger candle. It's smaller, but it's not a doji. So you got that candle, and then you also have this candle here, whichever one you would have traded off of. That would have been your breakout signal. So with this being a small candle, I definitely wouldn't put the stop loss, above the high of the candle. That stop loss would have been at the recent high, which is right here. You see this high right there. So my recent high would have been there, and definitely would have made a 2-to-1 return on that. Even if I did this one, now this one, you would have had probably a bigger stop loss. I usually don't like trading at the end of a big candle, but even if I did it, I believe I still would have got, this one wouldn't have been, I barely would have hit 1-to-1. So that's like, if it's too big of a candle, I don't like trading that. But all in all, this is the Elite Algo's breakout filter strategy. So with this strategy, it's going to help you identify what breakouts to pay attention to. It's really that simple. Even with this one, now this one was a big candle. I don't trade at the end of big candles. But going into just different aspects, if I wanted to do a smaller level or identify a smaller level, you have this level here. That would have been my breakout candle. Turn green on that, and would have been close as far as a trade goes, because it would have had a little bit of drawdown. We have to do a long position here. Would have had a little bit of drawdown, but I still would have had my trade. I still would have had my trade in the green. So it went all the way up to where it was a 3-to-1, 3.5-to-1 reward to risk. But all we're looking for is that 1.5-to-1 or that 2-to-1. It gets that. So I love this strategy because it's very simple. I didn't really like trading breakouts because the hardest thing would be to figure out what breakout to pay attention to. Elite Algo literally gives you the best way of trading breakouts using this Elite Algo breakout filter. So definitely like and subscribe if you like the information. And if you use the strategy, definitely comment how you did with it. Ask any questions you want to ask in the comments. I'll be there for you, and I'll see you at the next video.